To assemble your shadow box, you'll need a ruler or a tape measure, Phillips screwdriver, and a hot glue gun. When you first unpack your Sailor-Made custom shadow box, you want to make sure that there's nothing wrong with it, give it a good inspection, and when you're ready to begin, you want to turn it over on its side, grab the Phillips screwdriver, and begin to remove the Phillips screws. These are only 1/2-inch screws, so you don't need a drill or any kind of power tool to remove them. I'm going to speed this up just a little bit so that you can see the process repeated. But once you get all the screws out, you want to be able to remove that piece, set the shadow box over to the side, and then get your contents ready to be mounted. You'll also notice that once you've laid the backer board down, that there's actually foam board wrapped in the color fabric that you chose. This makes it very easy for your contents. Anything with pins, you'll be able to just push right in. As you can see here, I'm lining up all the contents, making sure that I use that ruler to measure out the distance to keep everything nice and even. And I'm just laying it out to get an idea of how I want to place these medals and ribbons. And then I'm going to do the same thing with these collar devices here. I'm just pulling each of them out, and I'm setting the ruler, and I'm using that tape measure right on top of it to evenly space out each and every one of the collar devices that I have there. Depending on the number of collar devices you have, you'll have to do a little bit of math to figure out the exact distance between each one so that they're evenly spaced. It's pretty simple though, and once you have it, start laying them out and pressing them in right through the backer board. You'll also notice as I'm doing this that I'm using that straight edge of the tape measure to use as an alignment tool to make sure that everything is straight as well. I'm also doing this now with the metals before I line those up and push them in. Now I'm just placing the cover on to take a look and see how everything's lined up. And I'm happy with the way everything is. So now I'm heating up the hot glue gun. And with anything that's heavy like metals or something that doesn't have pins like patches, we recommend using this hot glue gun to glue everything into place. So what I did was I flipped over those ribbons and placed hot glue on the ribbon section and then a little bit of glue on the metal portion and glued each one down individually until they were dry. And I repeated that for the second row. Once I was happy with the way everything looked, as you can see, I'm putting just that last little bit of hot glue on the metal there, making sure everything was nice and clean, cleaning that up, making sure that there aren't any issues left, making sure nothing hangs. Now I'm going to take a rag here and I'm going to clean off everything. Now that I'm happy with the way everything looks, I'm going to place the screws right back in. So I'm tightening those screws all back up, all by hand. Don't over torque them. Once again, these are just 1/2-inch screws. They don't need a tremendous amount of force. Now that I'm happy with the final spacing, let's take a look at the finished product.